Hello and welcome back to Word of the Twist Tarot. And today we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive with a question asked for myself. This is a reading for me, but I want to share it with you because I thought it was quite interesting on the outcome of how the cards laid out. I'm using the Blue Board Lenormand deck, and the question I had was, why Kamala Harris? Now, why would I ask that? Because there was no primary. They just put her into position. And according to US law, you're supposed to have primaries and whatnot, and let the people pick their choice for the left or the right. But in this case, it's not happening. She was just put in the position. So then the first row represents what they need the public to believe that's actually happening. And the secondary row is around the truth of what they actually have planned. Okay. So it's more like reality down here versus the propaganda they need you to buy into. And then the first row, as we can see here, well, before I get started, I want to thank all of you for joining me today. So if you did find this video, then his message was definitely meant to find you. So check it out, listen in, drop your comments. And from my followers, thank you so much. This is a geopolitical reading, so it's around current events. I did three different polls, and across all three, there is interest. So I figured, well, since some followers would like this, I'm going to start sharing some of these. Not a lot, but once in a while. Anyway, continue on with this. We have the garden, which is a 20. We have the heart, which is a 24. And then we have the 19, which is a tower. And in Lenormand, what I like to do is I use a center card to give us the overall theme. So the theme is, what do they need the public to believe in? Well, with the heart being center mass, it's really the narrative they need to push, which means that they want you to believe that Kamala Harris is a fun loving woman who cares about everyone. And I'm sure many of you actually believe that, and that's okay. And then when you see the 24 on the card, the two and the four right there, so the hearts are 24, you get a six. So two plus four is six. So that means that what's their play? Their play is to use people's emotions to make everyone believe she's the one to bring unity and harmony across the world. Even though some things we're seeing with her running with Joe is contrary to that. But that's the play. That's what they need you to believe. And then when you add the one, which is the one of hearts right there, when you add the one back into the equation, which is the eight, it takes the six to the seven, the harmony to what the seven to consciousness, which means that they position her as a person of wisdom. Well, they want you to believe that. And that she's the one, the only one who understand the needs for all. In other words, what does seven mean in tarot? It means that she's the engine to keep all things moving forward. That's their message because she's like a god ready to save all. That's her position. That's what they want you to believe. And when you look around social media and other places, that's actually what people do believe. So the propaganda is working. Why am I being harsh? Because I've done a lot of research on her. I've done a lot of research on Trump as well. And you know what? I'm going to do another reading here shortly on Trump. Why Trump? Okay. So we can be fair. But Kamala Harris is not who people think she is. And now to continue on, we'll start with the garden, the 20. Why the garden in the first position next to heart? Because the garden is a social gathering of some type, which means that how they push the narrative through social media. And they'll use the mainstream media to obtain their goal. They're going to tell you that Kamala Harris will bring about change, the 20 and the 2, but the change will be through coercion. They're going to actually erase her past, which you're seeing right now today. They're going to erase her past to hide who she actually is. Now she's the people's what? Champion. She's the heart. She's the only viable option for 2025. And then what does that equate to? The 9, which is attainment, right? The 2 plus a 2 plus a 5 is a 9, the year of attainment. Attaining what? Because if you go with their selection, then the people will what? Be filled, people with communication will be filled with what? Love and happiness. That's the heart. Then when she wins the people's heart, or the media wins the people's heart, you then have the tower, the 19, the 1 and the 9. You have some interesting things going on here at play. So what that means is she'll be elevated, lifted up into a position of authority and power, which will bring a continual cycle throughout 4 years, the 19, the 9 plus the 1, which is a 10. And then the tune of 2 is a what? That's a 4. That's a 4-year cycle. The 20, 9 and 1, 10. The heart is a 1, 20, 20, 20, 40, right? 2. And then you have a tune of 4, 2 again, 3 twos. It's interesting. So threes, communication, twos, threes and twos. And threes and twos come in play a little lower as well. So now that we see that, they're going to position this person as she's the one to work to bring new possibilities to the people and the possibilities you never could imagine. Remember the mantra is always being heard? What has been, what will be, and so forth. Well, if you study that quote, and again, I'm not quoting it properly, that is from Karl Marx. And that is a change that will be brought. That's a change that they believe in. That's the nine of attainment, attain a new level of government. So then when you add the 20 plus a 24 here and here, you have a 44. See the fours again? Which means it's a perceived solid foundation. So the 4 plus the 4 is an 8. So the 44, 4 and 4 is 8. 8 plus a 19 is a 27. And then the 2 and the 7 go back to a 9, attainment. 2025 is a 9, attainment. This equals the 9. 2025 equals the 9. Now, on the bottom row, I didn't go as deep because the card just jumped out at me. But with that being said, why would I say that with this new attainment, there's a new reset that's going to bring about struggle to the American people? Why would I use the term struggle? Because the second line shows that. If you follow the cards, you have a 21, which is the mountain. Now, I didn't go into the symbols of the spades or the clubs and so forth. They also have meaning, but I'm not going to do that this reading. So again, this is Lenormand. I'm also going slow to kind of teach you how to use Lenormand. That's why I'm being a little bit in depth and going through numerology as well. Because that's how I read. I like to use numerology a lot because it really gives clarity to the card. So rather than just saying mountain is struggle and conflict, why is it struggle and conflict? We'll look at the numbers. So again, you have the mountain at a 21, you have a cross at a 36, and then you have the mice at a 23 with a 7 of clubs. So what it's saying is the theme, overall theme of the second line is what they have planned for you, and they have a cross plan for you. And a cross is what? It's their reality, which is utopian. That's Marxism. That it's a 9, 6, and the 3 is 9. It's a 9 of affliction, a 9 of pain, the 3 and the 6, which means that the country is going to face historical sadness like they've never seen before, worse than the Great Depression. Depression, if she's installed into the position. Okay. Tower, president, authority, White House. That's what they want you to believe she needs to be. But the problem is, the reality is that their real end game is around struggle, conflict, which is really a breakdown of society. You ever hear the term build back better? What that actually means, if you study it, and again, they actually pulled this off the web, so you really can't find the articles anymore. I have archived them in the past. I used to research a lot of this stuff. And build back better is all around destroying an economy, destroying a society to build it back up into a new government, a new way to rule. Marxism. What's the opposite of capitalism? Marxism. Fascism. Socialism. Any of the isms is something that you don't want. You want a free marketplace. You want a place that you can thrive. Remember, the United States is all around the pursuit of happiness. Doesn't mean you're going to be happy, but you have the ability to pursue it. Under communism, fascism, socialism, there is no pursuit of happiness. Period. It's a pursuit of struggle. You have to struggle every day just to make ends meet. Okay? So to continue on here, it's the theme is around the country barely making it to survive, which means that she's going to remove the foundation, or her rulers or her puppet masters will remove the foundation of which this country stands for. They're just going to erase it. And again, as she said in her own words, Marxism is the path forward. Listen to her mantra. Look it up, research it. Don't use Google, you won't find it. Use other search engines and you will find it. You will find that Karl Marx philosophy is around exactly what this lady is saying. And her father also is a Marxist. So that's the cross. Okay. And those who control her are going to bring that dogma to light if she's put in position. Now, again, remember, tarot, Lenormand is all around free will. So people can change the outcome by manifesting something different, or people can believe the lies and manifest that reality. Choice is yours. I'm just sharing with you what the cards are showing me today. Okay. So then, due to a lack of knowledge or ignorance of some people in general public, it means that they're going to have to further sacrifice worse than they are today under Biden and Kamala. So remember, things won't change under her. She's an extension of Biden, an extension of others who come before her. So the policies that you see right now today will be the policies times four of the cross of conflict. So now we're going to go to the mountain. Remember, you read in pairs. So we start with the 21. And this is telling us what our mountain's about. They're around struggle and hardship, right? So people will suffer and face many challenges because they're going to believe the lies, social, they've been told. The three, which is the two plus the one. Two is decision, one is potential, new things based off three, communication. They're being told something to bring about something new that is never going to happen. Remember, people need to realize that you don't believe what people say. You believe them by their actions, not by their words. It's their actions that by which you judge someone. It's not by the words in which they speak, because anybody can speak anything. It's the actual actions they take and show is what defines them. So the media is going to continue, the media here is going to continue to push propaganda through the communication tactics, social media, internet, TV, to create struggle, division for the American people. Okay. They're going to also try to make everyone believe in the new possibilities, the one under her leadership. But yet the leadership's the same as Biden. It's the same thing. Nothing's changed. And due to the propaganda being pushed so heavily every day, every hour, every minute, people are going to have to sacrifice, challenge, cross, sacrifice worse, as I said a minute ago, than they are under Biden. And because the challenges that are going to await them, people will face poverty and famine. The things they loved were going to vanish and go away. Remember during the last experiment, people couldn't get toilet paper. They couldn't get basic necessities. Imagine that, but 10 times worse. This is Venezuela. These two cards is Venezuela. And when you add the third in, that's what happened to Venezuela when they couldn't find food. They actually went to the zoos and ate the animals. It's a fact. Look it up. So then, why are they losing everything? Because of the mice. They're going to have everything stripped away from them and stolen, taken, and it'll be given to those who come in illegally. Why is that? Because it's a shift, it's a transfer of power, it's a transfer of culture, it's a change of ideas, it's a change of ideology. So by giving to others rather than the citizens of this nation, they can make this shift easily because if you put people in a position where they're forced to find the basic necessities to live, but give to those who aren't of this nation, so they have the food, then what happens? The people who are struggling don't have the strength to fight back or even to fight against those who repress them because they're too busy spending their days looking for food. So then, rather than, like I said, having that strength to fight the tyranny she brings about, instead, people are going to struggle daily with the 23 just to make ends meet. And I don't think there even will be any work because you look right now, what are you seeing? Right now, under Biden, what are you seeing? Job loss through the roof, inflation through the roof, grocery prices through the roof. These three cards showed even worse. These three cards showed even worse. So then the struggles will be entered by continual challenges and blockades, the mountains, for basic supplies, supply chain problems like you saw with the last experiment. So, in other words, they're going to keep you destitute and hungry, that's the mice, so that you don't have the strength, that people don't have the strength to fight back against the tyranny that's being committed. And what's really interesting, when you look at the four cards and ignore the middle, let's just take these out. You have a garden, communication, social. That social communication puts somebody into power. That power allows them to be deceptive, and that deception allows them to create struggle. You following this? It's funny how these cards always show you the truth of what is about to unfold if people don't wake up and make a change. So, is this laid in stone? Absolutely not. It's not, because we have something called free will, and everybody has a chance and a choice to change their minds. If they can turn off the garden, stop listening to them, and that way, then they can't steal the tower. And the tower can no longer be taken from the people, which means the struggles go away and the thievery of the mice end. It's your choice. Anyway, if you enjoyed this little reading that I did today, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment. And if you didn't like it, that's okay. If you think that you don't agree with it, that's okay too. But don't be rude. There's no need for that. Just drop your comments or don't. Give it a thumbs up or don't. But I would like to hear your thoughts. But again, there's no need to be nasty or negative. Again, this is a general reading. And I've done some on Trump in the past as well. And I'll do some more. I've done one on Biden as well. If you want me to do one on somebody, let me know in your comments as well. Again, this is not about being biased or trying to push an initiative or something like that. But again, I am neither left or right. Like I've said, I believe in the Constitution and I believe in this country. That's why my family came to this country many, many years ago, because of what it had to offer all of us as a collective: a true chance at freedom and a true chance at happiness, away from suppression, away from censorship, away from struggles under socialism, under communism, under fascism. All right. Well, again, I want to thank you all who sat with me through this reading. And again, if you did enjoy it, give it a like, share it with your friends. I'd like to hear your comments. And until next time, a beautiful and blessed week. All right. Bye bye, everyone.